It is so funny because, I mean, when you attend open houses like the one that Chica and I are at here in Santa Fe Springs in Los Angeles, you meet people that makes things you didn't even think of. So Owen from Böhler.
Yes, hi.
Good to see you.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
I mean, I've been in thousands of shops and I have seen dies made in all forms and shapes. And then you are the one that make the knives, right?
Yes. So I'm with Böhler, actually, and we make the steel rule that goes into all of the dies that cut the boxes on the BOBST machines.
It looks so simple, but it isn't, right?
Everybody thinks it's very simple, but there's really a science behind cutting.
Yeah.
Being 2 years into the industry, I really don't know everything, but what I do know is that Böhler is a well-known name, a reliable steel rule, and it's a die maker's choice.
But I can't help thinking about it because you say that you're only 2 years into it, but your father's the president of the Americas, right?
Correct.
So you're probably born into it anyway, right?
Kind of, yeah. So I worked in the warehouse for about 4 years, packaging all the steel roll to ship to customers like this, and then eventually graduated into steel sales, and now I'm taking care of the West Coast.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you live and work and talk to a lot of the companies like Die Express that we're here with today, right? I mean,
yes.
So I mean, just before you presented, there was like 3 different brands that all of them are produced by you.
Correct.
What is the main difference when you choose either brand?
That's a good question. So sometimes customers are very focused on pricing, so we offer a rule that is generally a lower price to meet their needs. But if they're looking for quality and durability and they expect a good product, then we offer them the top of the line product. So our 3 products, Böhler, Martin Miller, and Helmholtz steel rules, they're all the same material, but we sell them at different prices because.
Is that also because, I mean, I guess that if you are if you, let's say you're a converter, like we're seeing the BOBST machine here behind us or behind the wall, is it also because if you have like a short run, you don't need to have the same high quality steel as if it's a long run? Or?
Correct. Yeah, you see actually in some accounts where they will buy a die with very cheap rule because they're going to use the die only once, and then they'll throw it away, and then the customer will order a different die with a different design, so they'll have to knife it again and rubber it again. So sometimes it's a cost-saving measure. Sometimes it's just we have what we got, and we're going to use what we have so we can get rid of it, essentially.
When you work in sales here in California, is there a lot of competition in this particular field, or?
With the industry here, we have some competition here. We have CETO and National Steel Roll. So yes,
they're similar products, but yours, of course, better.
Yes, I'm obligated to say that. But yeah, we do compete with other brands, but since Böhler's been around for so long, it is such a well-known name.
Yeah.
You can expect quality and deliverance on time with your projects.
When you look at the future, I mean, everybody in the industry talks about very significant continuing growth in the converting of packaging.
Right.
And I was just wondering, since also a trend is shorter runs and things like that, do you see a growth in the need for your products?
We've seen, let's say, we've seen some growth. We've seen more technology going into lasers.
Yeah.
Laser cutting has also been another influx of competition for us.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of cutting. It's just not using actual steel rules. So that's one thing we have to be on the lookout for. But I believe that steel rule will always be around. You're always going to need a box for something. And it's an industry that's, I think, here to stay.
So with competition, why should people buy from you?
Why should people buy from me? Because we own the rights from the ingot all the way up to the steel rule that's used in the dies today. We own the quality control. We know the science and the methods on how to produce the best steel rule. And we have very tight tolerances as well, which die makers
So you have a very comparable, equal product from a batch to batch, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So people can trust if they buy this particular one, it will be the same next time.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. We own the rights from the ingot all the way up to the final product, all the processes, and it's all proprietary information too. So you won't see any kind of grinding similar to us. there's different processes we take to make our final product too.
One of the things that I know that you were also in the same session as me with BOBST Connect, where they talk about measuring the quality of the tooling during a long process. Is that something you pay attention to as well?
Yes. So usually you get a certain amount of impressions out of a die before it starts failing on press, so you don't get any good creases or you don't get any good cuts. Around 1 million impressions is what they benchmarked over there. That's what I've been seeing as well. Sometimes it's 750,000 impressions. You try to ballpark your usage with that, but I'm not really sure.
But I mean, it must be great for you because I mean, also from a supply chain perspective, if you know in advance that your customers will need these kind of dies at some point, I mean, you can plan your sales, your production, marketing even better,
It's
right?
always good to know your customers' consumption rates and their actual inventory numbers right now. We order on a 3 to 6 month to 9 months rolling schedule, so
people need to know basically.
Right, we need to know how often they're using our rule, how much they're using, and how much they have right now. So we can base our ordering on their usage. So we don't want to run out of rule because we order from Austria and then distribute here. So it's always good to be in the know with your customers.
And now we're here at the BOBST Open House. You meet customers here, or?
Yes, I actually have 3 different customers here that I've met so far. And I've actually met a couple that aren't really in my industry, which I'm really fond of.
And what about the technology? Can that also appeal to you, or?
Wow, yeah. I wasn't here 20 years ago when lasers and benders weren't in the game, but I can only imagine what an older guy would feel seeing all this, and coming from a guy who would hand bend all their machine or their steel rule. You go to a steel rule machine like this that bends everything for you.
So many automation also here, right?
The automation has gotten way better. The technology, the surveillance on your performance and everything is great. I can only imagine things are going to get better. I mean, with BOBST and what they have to offer with their BOBST Connect, man, I'm pretty impressed.
Fantastic. Thank you, Owen.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you.
Appreciate it.